everyone doing tonight? Woo!
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good.
Thank you for bearing with us through some of our technical difficulties, but now we're all good and the rest of the week will run smoothly. We'll be on time, won't we, Leader Austin?
We will be perfectly on time.
That's right.
That's what we do here. That's what we're all about. As James just said, my name is Austin, and this is James, and we are so excited to have you with us for Vacation Bible School 2020. Obviously, things look a little bit different this year than maybe what you're used to. And if you're new, this is not what it normally looks like, quite obviously. But there are a few rules we need to go over before we can get to all the fun and things that we have to learn. So, James, why don't you start us off with rule number one?
Well, rule number one is that, as you can see, you are all in a really nice, railway car. All right? I know, it's kind of an odd-looking potato. You know, it's a roundhouse. It's just an odd-shaped round. I tried my best. I'm sorry. Leader Grant and I, we worked very hard to try to make them. But we want to make sure that everyone stays inside their circles. We have them nicely socially distanced so that everyone is good and safe. And you will be able to do some of the activities and crafts as we get to them. Leader Austin, what's rule number two?
Well, rule number two is actually the only exception to rule number one. As James just said, you cannot leave your train car except if you need to go to the bathroom. The bathrooms are accessible, but if you need to use them, please don't walk up onto the stage and through us and in. Go around to the front doors, where Leader Leslie is graciously pointing out for us. And if you do go and use the bathroom, please get up, go from your train car, go straight to the bathroom and come straight back. And after you're done or right before you use it, please let one of us know so that we can clean it. We have to clean it in between each person's use so that it's safe for the next person. Does that make sense? Nodding, great, perfect. Rule number three, James.
Rule number three goes along with rule number two and rule number one, which is we want to make sure that we are paying close attention to all the rules and instructions that are happening so that we know exactly what's going on. Because when we start playing games or doing crafts and we have all the items in front of us but we have no idea how to use them, it gets a little bit challenging and hard. And even though that might go along with today's theme, we don't want it to be overly hard and challenging right away. So we want to make sure that we have our listening ears on and following all directions while our luggage blows away into the street.
Well, that is, I believe, all the rules. Oh! Except for rule number four.
Which is very important, yes. And it's a big rule.
Big rule.
Very big.
Anyone has not been listening to the rules up until this point, you have to listen to this rule. Please listen very closely.
Okay.
Rule number four.
Yeah.
Is to have fun. We are here to have a good time. We are here to learn about Jesus, and that's going to be fun and exciting, and I am so excited to do it.
I'm so excited. It sounds great. So, are you guys ready to continue on with our rest of our evening? You got all the rules? Thumbs up if you got all the rules.
I got them.
You got them memorized. Look at you. You guys are golden.
Well, me, that took me like 6 takes to figure out how many rules there were.
Well, they're smarter and they got better memories.
That's true.
Now, you know what? I'm now going to just make sure that everything's all set, and I'm going to leave it all in your capable hands, Leader Austin.
Well, that's clearly a mistake, but that's besides the point. We are excited.
Don't make me regret it.
We are excited to have you here at VBS, and today we're going to be... Hi, do you work here?
Do I work here? Friend, of course I work here. I'm the railroad man. I know more about trains than anybody that's ever known trains before. They say that I built the first train. In fact, the name is Cam Tracks, and I'm a railroad engineer.
So your name is Cam Track, and you drive trains. That's pretty convenient.
I do drive the trains. In fact, I have an emotional connection with these trains. You see, when you know trains as well as I do, you really start to care about the trains, their package, and their trips, and when your train, it starts to make you really sad, because you know these trains and you want the trains to just go.
Is everything all right, Cam?
No. You know what? Leader Austin? You know what, Leader Austin? It's not all right. It's not all right now because A bunch of big boulders, giant boulders, bigger than me, fell off the tracks. And now my trains can't go through. And me and my crew are supposed to deliver a bunch of stuff. And I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, can't you just, pick up the boulders and carry them off the track?
Look at me! You think I'm going to be able to pick up the boulders? Look! I can't pick up these boulders. They're giant. They're bigger than me.
I mean, don't lose hope. Actually, you know what? Me and my friends here today, we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning about how Jesus helps us do hard things. And sometimes in life, things are tough. Things are difficult. Maybe there's a big, heavy boulder in your way, or maybe it's stuff back home. Maybe you have a big test coming up, or maybe you have a friend that moves away, and that's really tough. Or maybe your family's going through a hard time. It's going to be tough things in life. But, as heavy as things feel, sometimes like that big boulder, Jesus is always there to share the load with us.
Really? Well, this Jesus guy, he sounds pretty awesome because I can't move those boulders alone, but maybe he can make this hard thing a little easier. I'm gonna go think about this. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get the boulders moved. So I'm gonna go inside, guys.
I tell you what, Cam, after me and my friends here are done here tonight, I'll come find you, and maybe together we can figure out how to move those boulders.
I'd like that. You and Jesus. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Cam. That was nice meeting you. Cam Track, what a name, what a name. So actually, unless you guys haven't picked up on it yet, obviously this is VBS, Vacation Bible School, and it is Rocky Railway. This week we are going to be pretending and imagining what it would be like on a steam-powered train going through the Rocky Mountains. Now, in build-up for this week, I actually started looking at a little bit of what trains were, because how many of you have ever ran or ridden on a steam-powered train? Now, I'm not talking like an electric subway, and I'm not talking about like a C train up in Calgary. I'm talking steam-powered. Yeah, see, like three families. That's not that many. I have never ridden, as far as I know, on a steam-powered train. I might have forgot, but I don't know. Maybe my mom will correct me. So I did some research, and I was looking at it. Did you know that a steam-powered train can haul 30 times more freight than a semi-truck? Now let's put that in perspective. 30 semi-trucks versus one train. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of power. And I was like, well, how do they get this power? How does it work? And so now we're going to go into a very in-depth thermodynamic electric discussion about how trains work. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, they heat up water, it spins turbines, it creates electricity, it lets the train run. Now, trains, like I just said, have a crazy amount of power behind them. But this week, we're going to be talking about an even crazier power, and that's Jesus' power, and how it affects our lives and what it does for us. So yeah, I think, actually, Leader James might be able to help us understand a little bit more about Jesus' power. Now, I don't know where Leader James went, and I'm not sure if he's coming back, but, oh my goodness.
Hello.
It's good to have you back. Yeah, so I was just talking about Jesus' power, and I know, obviously, you're Pastor James, so maybe you can tell us a little bit more about Jesus' power.
Well, you know what? When I think about power, there's a couple things that come to mind.
Yeah.
Number one, superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
I always think of superheroes when it comes to power. That's right. Look at that. I got a thumbs up in the back. That's what I like to see. Because superheroes, they got to be strong. They got all the power in the world to do all the crime fighting and helping out other people,
That makes sense to me. Makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. And then, when you're thinking about all that power and them helping all those people, then there's another thing that comes to mind when I think about power is a muscle. How many of you can flex for me?
Oh, yeah.
Give me a flex. Yeah. Do your best flex. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good. Now, muscle takes, some training, doesn't it? You got to work out. You got to do all those kind of things to get that muscle to get bigger. Mm-hmm. Now, Leader Austin, I know you like to do some powerlifting, don't you?
Occasionally, yes, I do.
You do. Now, how much weight can you do in a leg press?
In a leg press? Well, I don't actually know, but in a squat.
Oh, in a squat.
Pretty similar. I can do 484 pounds.
484 pounds. How many of you want to see Leader Austin do that right now? How many of you want to see that? I want to see that.
Well, James,
What?
let's be entirely
Just said
realistic.
484 pounds.
You asked me for my best of all time.
Yes,
You know,
I asked for your best. That's
I would
right.
need
That's
to-
what we want to see. We want to see your best. We don't want to see your worst. We don't want to see 80 pounds. That's weak.
But you know, when you're doing those kinds of weights, you need to warm up, you need to stretch, you need to properly eat and prepare and sleep so that you can put out the best amount of effort possible.
Oh.
You can't just walk up and hope that you do well. I have equipment I would need to bring.
You need equipment?
Yeah, so
What kind of equipment do you need?
I have knee sleeves that protect my knees from blowing out. I have a belt that keeps my intestines from going out of whack.
Well, that's important.
It's very
We
important.
do not want intestines going out of whack, ladies and
wrist
gentlemen. We
straps.
do not want that. That's not pretty.
Wrist straps that protect my wrist under that much weight because it's on my back. There's a lot of things you need. You can't just walk up and do 484 pounds.
So what you're saying is that to do something hard, it's going to take some time and some practice.
Well, yeah, of course.
And Jesus gives you that wisdom and helps you in those times of tackling that hard challenge.
Yes. Oh, I see what you're driving at to James.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes sense.
You're getting it.
I'm
You're getting
getting
it.
there.
I know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, every day this week we are going to be having what's called a Bible point. And
Yes.
these points are obviously the main point of today. And I was hinting at it with our friend Cam Track earlier, and I said that Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Yes.
Now, when
He does.
Yes, that is the Bible point for today. And here is how the Bible points are going to work.
Okay.
So if you hear anyone up on stage say the Bible point, it is your job as the audience to respond with trust Jesus. And I'm not talking like a weak, like, trust Jesus, yeah. I'm talking like, trust Jesus, let's go, okay? So let's
Well, we have
practice.
scared everyone in the neighborhood.
Well, they need to learn this too.
No, that's
So,
good.
let's practice this one time, all right? So, Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Trust Jesus.
That was pretty good. That was all right. It's okay. But pay attention, because sometimes it'll come by tricky. Maybe someone will just be like, Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Oh, trust Jesus.
Oh.
I was alone.
You guys gotta be quick. You gotta be quick on the draw. You gotta be paying attention. But keep in mind, there'll be different Bible points every day, but that is today's Bible point.
But all of them start with Jesus' power.
That's correct. That's
That's
absolutely
going to be
true.
the hint right there. So, Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Trust Jesus.
Oh, that was good. Look at that. They
Yes,
are
again, better.
on track now. Now, since we've been talking about our Bible point, now there's a verse that comes to mind that helps me think of it, and it is found in Philippians 4:13. That says,
great verse.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's right. I can do all things through who?
Christ.
Christ, who strengthens
Me.
me. Right on. Now, that is a really important verse, and you're going to see how, as we go through our evening, you're going to see how that verse is so relevant, how it's relevant throughout our Bible lesson, through the KidVid cinema, through all the things that we're going to be doing. So make sure that you remember that verse. Does anybody remember where it was found? Does anybody remember where it was found? Philippians 4:13.
Heard it over there.
Keenan, you are amazing, buddy. All right. Now,
Oh, you know, that reminds me, James, not only are we going to have a Bible verse every day and a Bible point, every day we're actually going to have a Bible buddy who's going to come and help us remember these things that we're learning.
Oh,
And today's
yes.
Bible buddy is Ramsey the Ram.
Oh,
And
yeah.
He's going to teach us a little bit more about how Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
we got some hard wind, and it is taking out our sign. Now, that is okay. We don't need to worry about that. Now, to see Ramsey, all of you, how many of you got your phones or tablets with you? That password that you all got when you signed in, if you go onto our YouTube channel, you'll get to see Ramsey's video right here, right now. Does everyone have your phones? Oh, maybe, maybe not. Well, if we're not ready, we can just talk about what Ramses is. What is Ramsey? He is a what?
So he is a ram, as I just said.
Yes.
He is a bighorn sheep.
Yes.
And as everyone knows, bighorn sheep are powerful and strong. They're
Yes.
famous for butting their heads together, challenging each other, doing things like that. Very powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm. Very powerful. Now, Ramsey is a really cool looking ram, and if you guys don't have your phones out before we get there, you can just make sure that you're logged on and go onto the Park Meadows YouTube, because you will need it for later on for KidVid Cinema, and maybe at the KidVid Cinema, maybe we'll take a few moments to actually see Ramsey at that time. How about we do that, Leader Austin?
That seems like a good chance, or whenever you feel comfortable as we're going, if there's a little break,
That's right.
check it out.
Check it out. Log on in there, and then you can find it.
And of course, if you're having any trouble, feel free to try and find one of the leaders, and we will do our best to help you out in trying to learn about Ramsey the Ram.
Indeed. All right. Well, Leader Austin, what do you have next on your agenda?
For me, I believe, is it Craft?
It is Leader Nikki.
Leader Nikki is going to come out and teach us a little bit more.
Yes. Get us into a little family activity. Who wants to move? Woo! I think we all want to move.
All right.
And Leader Nikki is going to run on up here. Maybe.
Well,
She will. That's
wait,
right.
James.
Don't you worry. She just keeps chugging along. We're going to get there.
This is a good time to practice because Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Oh. Let's try it one more time. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Better already.
All right. Wonderful. All right. We're going to hand it over to Leader Nikki.
Give her a hand as she comes up. Woo!
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, so we have a game for you guys to try today. And in one of the bags that you were given today, you will find a ball of some color and 2 pieces of string. So I'll give you a second to find that, and then I will explain what to do. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what James was trying to do about the other. YouTube. Where's my phone? And I got my phone out, and then he moved on. But I got it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna set this down for a minute. Okay, so, woo, that's bored. Did you guys find the string? Mine was in the cup in there. So inside the cup, huh? The family bag, not the craft bag. It was inside the cup. I see the Woos found it. You're good? Okay, you guys found yours. You found, Carly, I'm borrowing yours, so you'll get yours back in a minute. Carly's gonna tell me she doesn't have it. They found it. Did you guys find yours? Yep. I think everybody found it. Okay, so you're going to have to take turns playing this game. So if you have more than 2 people in your group, 2 can start off and then other people can take turns trading in. And what you're going to do is, we're going to try and do this and see if I can hold on to the mic at the same time. I'm going to give you the ball. Okay, so we're going to stretch out these strings so that I'm holding 2 ends and she's holding 2 ends. And you want to make it look like a train track. So you have your 2 things side by side. Okay? And we're going to stand across from each other and we're going to try and roll the ball. Do we have to put it further apart? What's the goal here? You have to figure it out. But we're going to try and roll the ball back and forth. Now, we're probably going to be really bad at this. Oh, we're not too bad. Woo, even holding a mic. Okay? And if you can get it to go once back and forth, then see if because you have to hold the strings pretty tight or it's not going to work. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to try that game, and then afterwards I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay? So we'll give you a few minutes to try that game in your groups, and then we will talk after.
trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. We stand together. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you. Your power will pour us through. We're trusting in you. 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 Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. It's my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. There's a spirit I cannot contain. There's a spirit I cannot contain. The same power that raised Jesus up from the grave. The same spirit I cannot contain. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. It's my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Upon these bones, your fire in my soul, your kingdom is my home, and I don't walk alone. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. It's my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. It's my home, come what may.
Am I okay? Okay, everyone. I think everybody's had a few minutes to try, at least a few times. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you can shout back an answer to me, then I will try and repeat it for other people. But I'm looking right into the sun, so I'm having trouble seeing people, so I'm going to put my sunglasses on. Okay, what part of the game was the most fun? Putting it back and forth. Thanks, Logan. Anybody else have anything? Yeah? Oh, you lost your ball and it went far, far away. Okay. One more. Who else? Yeah? Yeah, so trying to stretch it out and get the ball in there. Okay, that was fun. What part of the game was the hardest? Okay, so when it fell off, what did you say? Burisma, right? What was the hardest part? It kept on falling, okay? So most of you said when it fell off, okay? So it could get pretty hard to hold it and to keep it to stay together just right. And that's true also when we have something hard in our lives too. When we're struggling, it can pull us apart from friends or different people, okay? But we have to remember that if we get frustrated or upset in real life when we're trying to do something hard, that's when we need our friends and God the most. So we need to hold on to them, because lots of times it's through the help and love of friends that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Oh, okay, thanks. Okay, let's try that again. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Michelle. Yeah, okay, so I'll pass it over to her.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Yes? All right. This is really hard for me to be so far away from you guys. Thanks. Chris says it's because I'm so short. All right, Bosch, it's on. It's on. So those of you that don't know me, I'm Michelle. Can you hear me, James? Okay. And I get the privilege of telling you guys awesome, true Bible stories every time. But we're not just going to read them. We're going to act out things. We're going to pretend things. We're going to have Bible characters visit us. So it's going to be a really good time. But before we dive into this story from Acts chapter 9, and it's all about Ananias and Saul, I want to get to know you guys a bit. So I want to know something you like and something you love. For example, I like apples. Apples are, good and nutritious, but I love strawberries. So shout out really loud something you like and something you love. What do you like, Katie? Something you like and something you love. Bananas. Okay, we're going to stick with the fruit. You love quiche. Kitties. Oh, okay. She loves kitties. I didn't catch any of that. Doing what? Oh, he loves video games and sugar. Don't you love it when your kids just put your parenting on display? It's the best. You gotta love it. All right, I'm gonna tell you guys something else I like. I like adults. I like the parents, like they're okay, they brought you here, but guess what I love? I love kids, love kids. Love it when you guys are here. I love your answers, I love your questions, I love your faces, I love your energy, I love it. But we have to be safe. So sometimes, because I love kids so much, I might want to give you a hug, but I'm not allowed, right? So me and my friend Jane, we're going to show you how to do an air hug. So Jane and I be like, oh, Michelle, I'm so excited to see you. And I say, oh, Jane, I'm so excited. And she starts coming towards me. So come towards me, Jane. But how close can she get? 6 feet or 2 meters. So you guys tell her to stop when she's about 2 meters. What do you think? Stop. Okay, and now we're going to air hug. Ready? Thank you, Jane. You can go sit down now. Okay. Now I want you guys to tell me something that's really easy for you and something that's really hard. Who has something really super easy that they can do? Jane? Pet the kitties is easy. Okay, what's easy for you? What? Walking. Walking is usually easy. Okay, girls at the back, you're going to have to scream it at me. Okay, something different that's easy. Coloring is easy. Petting animals is easy. Okay, patting animals is easy. How about something that's really hard? I want to know like the hardest thing for you to do. Skiing. Skiing is very hard. That is true. That is true. You should ask Austin about snowboarding and how often he wipes out. Okay, Michael, what's really hard? Skating with one blade? Like, you fell a lot of times. Skating is really hard. Okay, let's ask Katie. What's hard? A backflip is hard. It's hard. At the very back, what's hard for you? Building something all by yourself. But you know what's not hard for you is hollering. You're good at that. You'll be a teacher like your mom, hey? Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Oh, one more hard thing? No. Yes, and school, is that what you said? School is hard, right? And today, what are we learning? We are learning that with Jesus' power, he helps us do hard things. I'll try it again. With Jesus' power, he helps us do hard things. Before I dive into Acts chapter 9, I'm going to tell you guys about a hard thing. For me, there was this really hard thing, and it was, if I can even remember what it was, super hard.
Hello? Hello?
Do you, what are you doing here?
I'm hiding?
Hiding from who?
From everyone.
From everyone.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work because everyone is like here, Ananias.
Aww.
Well, by the way, friends, this is Ananias, and Ananias, these are all my new friends.
Hi, bunch of people I don't know. Hello?
Okay, so what are you doing here exactly?
Well, you see, I'm hiding from Saul.
Uh-huh.
Saul is here in Damascus, and he's here to throw all the people that love Jesus in jail. And I love Jesus, so I'm scared.
Okay. So have you heard about Saul? Like, do you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard everything about Saul. I've heard that he's throwing all of Jesus' friends in jail. And I've heard that he doesn't like Jesus lovers.
Well, that's true, but have you also heard...
Yes, I heard that too. He was on the road to Damascus when Jesus and a big light came in front of him, and it blinded him, and he can't see. And his friends had to guide him here because he's blind from God's light. I've heard it all. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but that doesn't really explain the silly mustache and the hiding. Like, what's going on here?
I'm hiding, and I clearly have a mustache because it's my disguise, so nobody will know who I am. Ah!
It's not working, Ananias. It's not
Why would
working.
you do that?
It's not working. Your
Why?
disguise is not working.
It was working. Nobody knew who I was. Now they can see me. You all know who I am now.
Who is this guy? Ananias,
No, no,
right.
no, no,
Now,
no.
Ananias, we've been going over this, and you said God gave you a vision?
Yeah. God came to me, and he said, I'm supposed to go to Straight Street and ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul.
Wow, that is amazing that God would talk to you.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Except for if I go and find the Saul guy, I'm supposed to go pray for Saul to get his eyesight back so he can see again.
Okay, so you have a vision. God tells you what to do, and here's Ananias. Why don't you go do what God told you to do?
Have you not been listening to everything I've said? Saul doesn't like people that love Jesus. If I go and I pray for Saul to get his eyes back, the first thing he's going to see is me standing in front of him. That's going to be a problem. If he sees me, you know what he does to people that love Jesus, right? He throws rocks like this at people that love Jesus. He chains them up with chains like this. And I have this spoon here. I don't know what he'd do with this spoon, but I don't want to find out. I want to know. He's a scary guy. This is really hard. Why would Jesus make me do such a hard thing?
You know what, Ananias? The kids and I and the adults, we were talking about just that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. All right, somebody's paying attention. One of those in the Bosch kids is paying attention. I'll try it again. Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Trust Jesus. But, like, really hard. Like, this is scary. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it.
Okay, I think what Ananias needs is an example, because it's one thing to talk about trusting Jesus, but it's another thing to know what it feels like to trust Jesus. So put down your silly spoon.
My silly spoon?
Put down the silly spoon.
This is my best spoon.
All right.
My best spoon.
So what we're going to do is Ananias, I'm going to teach him to trust. And because, you know, Ananias he's kind of a smaller guy, sort of.
Very small.
Yeah, very small. So he's going to fold his hands and he's going to just dead fall and I'm going to catch him. Okay? You guys think that's a good idea? We'll try it.
Right here?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here. What do you think? No? Is it too easy? I think it's too easy. You're right. Like, cause I'm pretty strong.
I know you got power, Michelle.
Yeah.
I know you got it.
Where's that Austin?
Call out Austin.
Austin.
Let's all call out Austin.
Austin. We don't know where. Oh, yeah. Because it would be better if I caught both of them. Okay, so Austin, you stand here. Turn around. Turn around. Okay, so you guys are they're gonna fall, and I'm gonna catch them. You think that's a good idea? You not think I'm strong? Oh, I know. I should be further away. Further away.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
And they'll fall. I got two strong arms. I can catch both of them because. Is this a good idea? You guys don't think I'll catch them? Now that I kind of look at them, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna catch them. We need a different plan.
What are we fishing?
Oh, okay. They're gonna catch me. But this is really scary. Like, really scary. So I just have to, like, trust them.
Don't pull it in anger.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
I think this is a bad idea. Should I do it? Yeah! Are you sure? Okay, here goes. Woo! Woo, that was pretty scary for a minute. Thanks, Austin. If some of you don't know, that's my little baby. It's hard to believe, right? 9 pounds at birth. Woo-hoo! Okay, so now parents, what you're going to do is you're going to do the trust game with your kids. But you're just going to do it in your roundhouse where you are. Or you can do it with your brother and sister. So one of you fall back and one of you catch. But do it safely. Oh, woo kids, your mom's coming. So take a few minutes and do that. In your roundhouse, not on the stairs.
That went well. Stitch at the back. I was really, with the wind coming, I got kind of nervous. I was like, that's partially why I'm like kind of hunkered, because I'm like actually scared it's gonna like, I don't want it to open because I'm in my underwear. It's really awkward. I really not want that on video. VBS.
Gotta stay in your house. All right. All three. What is Steve's?
Yeah, that'll work. That's fine. It's nothing.
And I might even read something from the Bible. Okay, is everybody done the trust fall? Everybody had an opportunity? Oh, some strong mom is catching dad back there. Woo-hoo! Power. You can catch Austin and Ananias next time. Okay, let's wrap it up here. Okay, Ananias, I wanted to read you something with the wind blowing. So in Acts chapter 9, this is what the Lord said to Ananias. He says, "Go, Ananias, this man, go to Saul. This man is my chosen instrument to carry my name before all the people." So that's what God told Ananias to do. So Ananias, are you ready? Are you ready to do what God told you to do? I see you don't have your mustache, so you're getting a little braver, but you're not convinced?
No.
He still looks a little scared, so I think the best thing to do when you're scared is to pray. And praying is just talking to God. So I'm going to pray for Ananias
Yes,
right
please.
now. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
kids, if you want to pray with me, you can right where you're at. Dear Lord, we pray for Ananias. We pray that he would trust you to do this really hard thing, that you would give him power and you would give him courage. Amen.
Amen. You know, I'm feeling pretty good. Now that I got God, I feel good. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go find Saul. I'm going to pray for him. I'm going to get his eyes. I don't even need my mustache because I'm so confident and brave. You know why? Because Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Guys.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. I hope Ananias comes back later and we get to know how this turns out. So what I did for Ananias, I'm going to do for everybody right now. When you guys talked about your hard things, and parents, I would encourage you to have more of that conversation, maybe later tonight at bedtime or something, and then you can have opportunity to pray with your kids for those hard things. Because when we're in a big group, we don't share really super personal stuff. Well, Chris would, but, other people wouldn't. So I have the mic now, Chris. I'll get back at him. All right, so we're going to pray right now for everybody. I'm going to pray for all of us, and then we'll go on to our next thing. So if you want to pray, let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for each kid and each adult that's here. I pray that we would remember to trust you for all those hard things in our life. I pray that the parents and the kids will have good conversations when they go home tonight and talk about those hard things. In Jesus' name, amen. And now we are on to give it up for Jacqueline and the Crafts. Woohoo!
Michelle. Wow, it's so good to see you guys here tonight and that we can all be learning together that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. By the time I got up here, you guys would have this down pat. Awesome. Well, it's true that a lot of us have to go through hard things in life. In fact, all of us will have to do something hard at some point in our life, whether that's learning a new skill or having to make new friends or forgiving somebody who's hurt us. So today, when we make our craft, that's running away, we want to look at this. If it's challenging today to do your craft or to do your activity, I want that to remind you that there are going to be hard things in life and that with Jesus' power, it will help us do those hard things. Okay, thank you. All right, I just got to put my mic down so I get the ball. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what to do, but before you get it out of your bag, I'll kind of walk you through it, and then you guys can just go and do it all on your own. Okay, so let me just explain. You will have two different bags. One was a family bag that you guys took the ball and the cup from earlier. So now we're going to use the other bag that has the ball with the string and the plain white cup. You can color this cup however you'd like to. You guys have crayons in that other bag. You can write today's Bible verse if you remember. It's found in Philippians 4:13. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. You could draw a train track on it. You could draw a picture of what you think it was like for Saul and Ananias meeting. You could draw anything you want on this cup. Then you're going, you can draw on it, you can write on it. Then you're going to take the ball and the string, and there's a hole on there. You're going to take both ends and put it through the hole. You're going to tie it on, and parents, I would recommend tying it on double knot, because otherwise it might go flying off. Okay, now that we have this ball attached, now I can try to flip this ball up and catch it. Now I just made it look pretty easy, but I've been practicing all day, and I had Michael helping me practice. And if you're younger and you just cannot get that ball in there because it is too hard, maybe switch it up. And we started doing what, Michael? We would just hold the ball above the cup and try to drop it in. If it's really too hard, if you practice and you can't get that ball in that cup, you can just try dropping it. But I want you guys to attach your string and see if you can get that ball into the cup. Don't give up. I think you guys can practice and do it, okay? Because remember, when you're doing this, if it seems hard, it can remind you that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. And do your craft. Color it, put your string on.
Service for Jesus, your King. There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Will you live daily His praises to sing? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Would you do service for Jesus, your King? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you live daily His praises to sing? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood, in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of
Looks like you got some good cup decorating going on. How many of you have been able to get the ball into the cup? Anybody? All right. Has anyone upped the challenge and turned the cup upside down and tried to catch it just in the bottom of the rim of the cup? Huh? Has anyone tried to up that challenge? Anyone? Oh, we got this right over here. There we go. Excellent. Now, we are now heading into our KidVid Cinema. And here at the KidVid Cinema, we are going to learn about real kids and their real stories, just like each and every one of you. If you poke yourself like this, can you feel it? Yeah? You know why? Because you're real. That's right. So the videos that we're going to see are also about real kids, okay? Just like how you are real. But before we get there, I want you all to grab your bags. And inside your bags, you're going to see a wristband. And it's got a whole bunch of happy faces on it. Do you see that happy face wristband that's in there? Once you got it, hold it straight up so that I know that you got them. All right. Now, these wristbands are going to help us with something, all right? Now, on a train, there is a thing called an observation car. Does anybody know what an observation car is? No. Well, I'll get to tell you because this is very exciting that I get to share this information. Now, an observation car is exactly how it sounds. Observation is looking out, all right? So it's got like a big like glass ceiling in it so you can look up into the sky just like right now. We don't even need glass because we're sitting outside, so when we look up, we can see the sky. I can observe a cloud. I can observe the sun. And when we look around in an observation car, it has a lot of windows so that you can see out and around. All right, so when we look to our left, we can see stuff over there. We can look to our right. We can see stuff there. We can see stuff in front of us, and we can see stuff behind us, right? I can see Leader Grant behind me. He's hiding back there. Now, in our observation car, with these wristbands are going to help us to remember to observe something. What we're going to be observing is God sightings. All right? Now what that means is that we're going to be observing God at work. Now already today we have seen God at work, didn't we? We've seen God at work through Ananias' story, haven't we? Leader Michelle was giving Ananias' account and talking. Oh, Leader Austin, you came out really fast.
Well, I heard you say God sightings.
I know you did. I know, you just came right out, but you're way too early.
Way too early?
You're way too early.
Do I need to come back later?
You need to come back later. I know,
Dang
I'm
it.
sorry.
I'm so excited.
I know, you got really excited. Another God sighting, Austin got so excited, he wanted to see what was going on, right? He's going to observe a little bit later, though. He's going to help me in a minute. Now, God sightings, though, are things that we get to see. And when we observe our video about that real kid that we talked about, you're going to get to observe something really cool in that video. You're going to get to see God at work through Dominic's life. That's right, we're going to learn about a little boy named Dominic. And Dominic likes a really cool sport. How many of you like sports? Anybody here like sports? Excellent. Now, Dominic's sport that he likes is a little bit different. So I'm going to get all the parents to find on their phone those KidVid Cinema video clips while I'm talking about Dominic here. So I'm going to give them a few minutes to find that on our YouTube channel. Now, Dominic, his sport that he really likes is called karate. How many of you know karate? Or how some like to say karate. I don't know which is right. Karate or karate? Karate? All right. Well, I have been told by Abigail that it is karate, not karate. All right. Now, in karate, it takes a lot of training. It can be pretty hard to learn all the moves that he needs to learn. But Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Wow. This has been a long evening. I can tell everyone is really tired. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Now, we're going to get to see how Jesus' power helps Dominic. How many of you are ready to see that? All right. Are all the parents ready as well with their videos? Oh, we can't find it. Well, I will come and help some of you. And then after you watch Dominic's video, if we still have a few that need a little extra time, you can watch Ramsey's video as well at this time, all right? So I'm going to let you guys start that video. But before we start it, how do we start videos? Does anybody remember? We're going to put our arms like this. We're going to count down, and then we're going to slap our arm down, and then we're going to yell out, action! You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action!
My name is Dominic, and I'm almost 11 years old.
Dominic lives with his mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa. He enjoys all kinds of hobbies, but one is his favorite.
I like to build things. I also like karate a lot. I love karate because I get to really express myself and I get to have fun, and I also get to build character and build physical strength.
Learning karate is hard work. Dominic practices up to 3 times a week. Plus, he practices at home with his dad.
The hardest thing about karate is definitely a lot of push-ups, leg lifts, sit-ups.
Dominic knows that he needs to trust Jesus when things get hard.
There was this board breaking thing, and I saw all the other kids break it with their palm. Right here. Boom. Just didn't work out for me.
Dominic failed to break the board with his hand, but he didn't give up. He continued to train, and he asked Jesus to help him.
And I said, I'm gonna break this board. It's an obstacle in my way, and let me push through it. And ha! I broke it.
Another part of karate is taking tests to earn new belts. Each belt color represents a new level. Earning a new belt is hard.
I was very discouraged on the first day because I was afraid I wasn't going to pass, and that's what brought me down. The second day, I was feeling very, very discouraged, very, very, very sad. And I thought, I don't think I'm going to pass this, and I didn't. I failed, and I failed, and I failed. Finally got to the last day that I could possibly test, and I said, this isn't going to be like those last times. I am going to pass it. I said, you know what, Jesus can help me get through this. I'm just going to pray to him today. I am going to pass the test tomorrow. And I did.
In the Bible, in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, it says, "For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength."
My 3-day test, it was really hard. And Jesus helped me through that. I was nervous for it. If you're going through hard things, I suggest that all you need to do is just trust in God and he'll help you. Pray to God and he can get you through anything. Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Hey there, friends! Glad you're all on board for a rambunctious week of faith and fun at Rocky Railway. I'm Ramsey, a bighorn sheep. Can you guess why? Okay, that was too easy. Check out these cool, curvy horns God gave me. Ram's horns can weigh up to 30 pounds. That's as much as some of our littlest preschool buddies. Wow! My horns have to be tough because we male sheep use them to keep other rams out of our territory. People who study rams say we can run into each other at 20 to 40 miles per hour. Bam! You can hear that sound for miles! Me and my herd hang out all over the majestic, massive Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains rock! If you head up to find me, strap on your hiking boots. Sometimes my herd grazes in an alpine meadow. 'Cause that's where the good stuff is. Wow, good! But the meadow makes us an easy target for predators, so we also like to climb way up those crazy cliffs. We sheep like it steep. Me and my family can hang out on a little teeny tiny ledge that's only a few inches wide. Animals like bears or coyotes can't bother us here. Whew! And check out the view! God made us just right for staying safe in those hard, rocky places. My hooves are split and have a rough skin on the bottom that grips tight to the rugged rocks. Plus, I've got excellent eyesight. No glasses for me. It may sound like climbing these cliffs and balancing on jagged ledges is hard to do, but God has given me everything I need to live here. Fine food and my family safe. I've heard that you sometimes have to do hard things too. When there's a bully at school, maybe you feel like you're in a rough, rocky place. You may not be balanced on a cliff ledge like me, but maybe you have to balance homework, chores, sports, music, and friendships. That sounds hard. Maybe coming here today and making new friends even feels like a hard thing for you. But did you know you don't face those hard things alone? No way! Jesus is right beside you. Yep, even right now. He gives you His power to climb through those mountains of worry and get through any rough stuff you gotta do. The Bible powers you up with this truth. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. That means you don't have to have your own power to do hard things. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus.
In Dominic's video, it talked about how Jesus helped him to do hard things with learning karate, right? It's tough, it's challenging to learn all of the different things that you need to do with it. It takes practice, right? How many of you play a sport and know that it's a little bit hard unless you practice? Yeah. So if you want to get good at something, you need to practice. And sometimes practice can be hard. But Jesus' power helps us do hard things. That's right. So no matter what we face in life, whether it's learning how to practice doing a sport, or whether it's doing stuff at school, or maybe it's learning how to do a new task at home, like maybe helping doing the dishes or vacuum or help build something or whatever it may be, every time as we get older, we learn new things. And sometimes it might be easier, and sometimes it might be really hard and really challenging. Now, our verse, does anybody remember where that verse was found? I told you it was going to come back. Anybody remember? Philippians 4:13. That's right. And does anybody remember what it said? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, do you know what? That verse is a really popular verse amongst athletes. Actually, a lot of Olympic athletes actually use that verse right before they go out. And there was an athlete that was interviewed a few years ago, in 2016. An interviewer asked her, what do you do to calm your nerves before you go out? You're a gymnast. It's just there's so many people out in that stadium. What do you do to calm your nerves, to be able to go out there and be focused and not to mess up? And she said, Philippians 4:13. She goes, I say that verse before I go every time. She goes, I focus and I put my eyes on Jesus. And you know what? If it's good for an Olympic athlete who's going out there needing to be focused under heavy pressure, you know what? It's a verse that we can use no matter what we are facing. So I encourage you to remember that verse, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's right. Now, we are getting close to the end of our time together. And as we were talking about earlier, we were talking about what? God sightings, right? So we're going to be looking at some of those God sightings. Can anybody remember maybe something that you saw that you thought was really good from earlier today? I did. I did. It's time to come back, Leader Austin. I won't make you go away this time.
Okay, it's great.
You can stay with me.
You know, I love this part. This is like my favorite part.
You love this part?
It's the God sightings.
It is.
So why don't you explain it, and I'll set up the thing with the tape,
Oh,
and then
excellent.
we'll be good to go.
So with the God sightings, we're going to do something really cool with them. And even when we're online tomorrow, you guys are going to be watching for God. And so what we're going to do on Wednesday is that we're going to ask you what kind of God sightings you saw from Tuesday's videos. Actually, if you flip it the other way, then we don't have to see that picture. There we go. Woo! Yeah, look at that. It's nice and plain. So we have a nice blank canvas here. Isn't it beautiful? I know. Thanks. We worked hard on it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put some track down because we're on a railway, right? We got our train, a big train. We got a train over there. We are ready. We got a train right here. We need to lay some track. So we're going to lay it with God sightings. So I saw God at work in many different ways already today. Like, I got to see God at work by bringing each and every one of you here safely. That is a God sighting. Ooh, look at that. That's nice. Now, Leader Austin, do you have a God sighting?
Here, I'll just tell you, and you can tell them.
Okay, you tell me and I'll tell them. It's like telephone.
How we helped Cam track what we were learning
Ooh! He just said how we got to help Cam get on track today because he was experiencing some really hard times, wasn't he, earlier? And Leader Austin got to help him out. So look at that. We're building some more track. Now, can anyone else think of anything of seeing God at work today? Anyone? I saw God at work with helping you guys get those balls across those strings because that was really hard. It looked like it took a little bit of going, but you know what? I think everyone got to do it. Did everyone get the ball to go back and forth at least once? Yes? I think that's a God sighting right there, helping you out, getting it there. I think it was a real God sighting as well that Ananias and Leader Austin did not drop Teacher Michelle down the stairs because that could have been devastating. That's a God sighting. He kept everyone safe. Leader Austin, is your back okay? See? He didn't even hurt himself catching his own mother. See? That's good. That's good. Now, we're going to keep laying track the days ahead because obviously we didn't get very far today. But I want you, when you go home and all day tomorrow, look for God sightings. Look for a God sighting maybe out in nature, with the weather, no matter what it may be. Maybe something that you and your parents talk about, or your siblings, or something that maybe you did with your friend. There's all kinds of things of where you can see God at work. Now, Leader Austin.
Yes.
Are you ready for the next event?
I am absolutely ready for the next event.
Excellent.
As we were getting
What is
ready, I will explain it.
Okay.
Actually, let's flip the roles. Maybe you'll put your mic down. And
Oh,
I'll
I'm going to
give
put
you-
my mic down. You're tired of hearing from me. All right. I'm going to put it down.
So I will give you these papers. There's a couple, so you can try a couple times. Now, as we were talking about track, I thought it might be interesting to do a little challenge, and something you guys can do. In your bags, there should be little pieces of paper like this with the tracks on them. If you want, you could pull those out right now. There should be about enough for one for each kid. Get some nods. I'm seeing some papers coming out. Looks good. So first, before you do anything with those papers, James, I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
Kids, don't do this. This is just for Pastor James. Take one of those papers. I can hold the other ones.
Perfect.
Grab it by the two top corners.
Two top corners.
Okay, now
have it.
only touching the top corners.
Only touching the top corners.
I want you to tear it so that there are 3 separate tracks.
Only touching the corner.
Yeah, exactly, just like that.
That's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it.
I think you can do
You
it.
ready? It's going to rip beautifully.
I think it's going to
Do
be
it.
perfectly
Very
3
good.
pieces right now. Let's see it.
Perfectly 3 pieces. Here we go.
Not quite, eh?
1, 2.
Oh, that was closer. That one was much better.
Right down the middle of the track.
Right down the middle. Now, do you think, kids, do you think James could do this? Do you think he's able to do this with just doing it the way I said? No?
Obviously not. It did not work.
Well, why don't you put those pieces of garbage in your pocket for now, James? And then I'll give you a new sheet.
All right, a new sheet.
Now, just like in life sometimes, we're put up against a situation that seems impossible. There's no way James is ever going to tear that paper perfectly in 3.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's people in our lives that give us good advice. So James, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice.
Okay.
So instead, this time, what you're going to do is about here,
Yeah.
right down the middle on the lines,
Yeah.
you're going to bite down on it. You're going to put it in your mouth, bite down on it, and tear it on the ends with your teeth. Yeah,
Right down like this.
a little bit deeper, yeah. And then pull on the ends and see, just like
the end?
on the corner, yeah, see what happens.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
then.
Would you look at that? It tore perfectly into 3 pieces.
I feel like I got a tongue.
Now, kids, if you want to try right now, this would be the time to try that out. So if you want, you can try it the normal way with just the 2 corners, or you can take a little bit of advice and see how it works. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to try that out in your train cars or at home. Woo! Can't believe that actually worked well. I tried it a few times and I was like, oh wait, I tried it. James doesn't know.
I was gonna say I have no idea how to do it.
I had some faith. A little bit of faith.
A little bit of faith. You're lucky that I was able to do it.
I gave you pretty good instructions.
All right.
Has everybody gotten a chance to
How did
try
you
it
do?
out?
Oh, look at that! That's perfect.
That one right there is very, very clean.
Did you do that yourself?
Did
No.
your mom help you?
Did Mom do it?
Did she use my advice or did she just grab it by the corners?
Or did she just pull out a pair of scissors out of her purse? Oh,
That's another way.
technique.
See, that's another example of a mom giving great advice.
See? Our moms have wisdom.
Woo! So hopefully you've all got a chance to try that out. And again, we're just trying to show you guys that sometimes things seem really, really tough. But if we have good people and the right people in our lives, sometimes they can give us advice. Just like what my mom did with our friend Ananias. He gave him the advice
He did. She did.
to the next thing and go and hopefully he went and talked to Saul. I wonder, I kind of wonder what happened to Ananias. I don't know. Maybe I should... Do you guys think he's all right? Like, this poor guy, like, he had to go and see Saul. And, like, I don't know if you guys know this. Saul was, like, crazy mean. Like, he didn't like Christians. Ananias! Hello? Back!
I'm back.
I was just getting worried about you.
It was a long journey. It was hard.
Well, what happened? Tell us what happened.
I just got back from seeing Saul.
So you did end up going to seeing him. Because I knew you were afraid to do it.
I
and
did.
Right? So he's a scary guy.
Yeah, so I was so scared. Like, I did not think I was going to be able to talk to him. But you guys, my friends, you reminded me that Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
Oh, you guys are getting good. You're getting good at that.
So there I am. I see the house where he is, and I'm thinking, I'm going to go in there. The big man walk up and see Saul. So I open the door, and I see him sitting there. And he hasn't eaten in a few days, but he's still really scary. So I approach him, and I say, Brother Saul, the same Jesus that showed up to you on the road told me that I'm to come pray for you to give you your eyesight back so that you may be filled by the Holy Spirit. So then I go up to him and I put my hands on him and bam, just like that, these scales fall off his eyes and he can see again and he's so happy.
That's incredible. So, like, what happened when he could see again? Did he arrest you or what happened?
No, it was amazing. He was such a nice guy. I don't know why everyone said he was so mean. He was a nice guy to me. He went and got baptized and he ate some food because he was really hungry. And it was amazing. It was such a happy day. I knew I had to come back here and tell you guys how it turned out.
Well, Ananias, thank you for telling us. I know it's a bit of a walk to Paul's house and back to here, but
It was.
Thank you for telling us. That really goes to show that, sometimes God asks us to do hard things because he's got a plan. He's going to use it to do something crazy like he did with you and Saul.
You're right. Jesus had some big plans for Saul. And he has some big plans for us too, guys. And the cool thing is we know we can do it because Jesus' power helps us do hard things.
You guys are good at that. Well, thank you, Ananias, so much, but you probably should get back to Saul and make sure that he's still okay, hey?
Yeah, I'm going to go see Saul. But thank you, friends. Thank you for helping me so much. I got to go now. Bye, guys.
Let's say goodbye. Wow, that's a crazy story. And I hope you guys have learned a lot tonight. Like Pastor James was saying, we are coming to the end of our time. But let's just review. What did we do today? We came in. We learned the rules. Do you guys remember the rules? All right here. What's rule number 1? Stay in your train cars. Absolutely great. Rule number 2. What was rule number 2? Does anybody remember rule 2? Yeah, over here. Exactly. If you need to go to the bathroom, that is the only time you can leave your train car. Very, very good. What was rule number 3? Yeah, over here. Oh, that's close. That's rule number 4. Rule number 3. What was rule number 3? That was part of rule number 2. Rule number 3 was to listen. Keep your listening ears on when someone's up here and they're talking. And you guys have done great with that. So thank you so much. Rule number 4, of course, was to have fun. And I hope you guys had a little bit of fun. It looks like you made some crazy cup things. I don't know what happened, but it looks like you had fun, and I heard you were playing a ball game, and that sounds awesome. But we met our friend Cam Track, and he was having a tough time. We were able to encourage him to go out. We learned our Bible point, which was Jesus' power helps us do hard things. You guys are getting great at that, but you have to learn a new one for tomorrow and then a new one for Wednesday. You got to keep up. Then we learned our memory verse, Philippians 4:13. I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And we learned about our Bible buddy, Ramsey the Ram. We had the Kid Vid Cinema. James talked about sports people that like to use that and encourage them as they go into tough situations. So I hope you learned a lot tonight. I hope you had some fun. But it is the end of our time. Just a reminder that tomorrow is all online. It will be up on the YouTube page, and you can do all of those things, and you can see it there. We will not be here. If you come to the church, it will be an empty parking lot with some chalk circles. So no Rocky Railway. It is all online tomorrow. But Wednesday, we will be back in person for some more fun, talk about some more God sightings, look for more things, and learn and grow together. Let me pray, and then we can all give some air hugs, and we will see you guys on Wednesday, okay? So let's pray. God, thank you for today. Thank you for all that we got to learn and see and have fun with. Thank you for everyone that came to give their time so that we could learn and we could grow. I thank you that you made it possible that we could safely do this event and enjoy each other in a safe way. I pray that you would continue to teach us more about your power as we go through the week, and that we remember that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Amen. All right, we will see you guys Wednesday. Air hugs all around. I will see you later.